People talk about change all the time. They say they need to get back on track, do more, or turn things around someday. They mean it. They feel the discomfort, see the gap between where they are and where they could be. But nothing happens just because someone wants it or is tired of how things are. Change only comes when you get serious, not interested, not curious, but serious. Until that shift happens, nothing moves. You might want better results, but you won't get them. You might think about better habits, but you won't stick to them. You might start strong, but old patterns creep back the moment things get tough. Why? Because you haven't crossed the line. You haven't made the real decision. That decision isn't "I should." It's "I must" starting now. I've seen it time and again. Someone struggles for years financially, physically, mentally. Then something clicks. They draw a line, get serious, and within months, everything shifts. Not because life got easier or the world changed, but because they changed. They stopped tolerating average, waiting for the perfect moment, or asking if they felt ready. They just got serious. You can see it in them, a look in their eye, a tone in their voice. You don't wonder if they're serious. They stop negotiating, stop talking about what they'll do, and start doing it. They're moving, building, focused, done playing with their future. Most people never get there. They stay interested but not committed, motivated but not consistent. Year after year, they stay stuck, reading more books, listening to more advice, making more plans, but nothing changes because they haven't decided. They hope something external, a breakthrough, a mentor, a windfall will push them. But the push has to come from within. Nothing in your life changes for good until you stop dabbling, stop hoping, and stop treating your future like it's optional. Seriousness is the switch. The day you flip it, everything begins to move. You can tell when someone's not serious not by what they say, but by what they do. They talk big, have plans, dreams, and explanations. They've been busy. Things have been crazy. They'll start when life settles down. But life never settles down and nothing changes because they're not serious. They're curious, testing the waters, waiting for change to feel easy. But change isn't easy, it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, and requires sacrifice. If you're not serious, you won't pay the price. You'll keep looking for a shortcut. I've met people trying to get out of debt for a decade, saying every year they'll get it under control. But they spend the same, save the same, make the same choices. Why? No plan, no boundaries, no real decision, just hope, which isn't a strategy. It's the same with health. You don't gain or lose 40 pounds overnight. People say they've tried everything, but most haven't. They've tried being excited for a week, not building consistent habits like walking daily or sticking to a sleep routine. It's not the program, it's the level of seriousness. Time management shows it too. The unserious person is always behind, scattered, reacting to everything. Their calendar's a mess, their routine random. They don't protect their mornings or prepare for their days, so they're stressed, urgent, last minute. Not because they have too much going on, but because they're not serious about managing time. When you're not serious, you let everything slide. One missed day becomes a week, one excuse becomes 5. You rationalize, postpone, and casual behavior becomes a casual identity, leading to casual results. I've seen smart, talented people with endless potential go nowhere not for lack of opportunity, but for lack of seriousness. They treat goals like hobbies, problems like someone else's fault, and live in a middle zone, not fully failing but never moving forward. That life is exhausting. You're busy but stuck, starting but not finishing, talking about goals but not pursuing them. The guilt of knowing you're capable of more hurts. That gap between who you are and who you could be is where regret lives. If you're not careful, you get comfortable there, saying it's not that bad. But okay isn't what you were built for. You were meant to grow, build, become more, not coast or drift. When you're not serious, nothing meaningful happens. You stay in the same place with the same problems, wondering why things don't change. But it's not the world that needs to change, it's your commitment, urgency, discipline. There's a moment when it clicks, not always dramatic, but unmistakable. You've had enough of the same excuses, patterns, days. You draw a line not because someone told you to, but because something inside says, that's it. That's the day you get serious and everything changes, not your circumstances, but you. You walk, think, talk differently. You stop negotiating with old habits, looking for loopholes, or postponing the hard stuff. You're not trying, you're doing. That day brings clarity. Decisions become simpler, not easier. You don't debate what you feel like doing. You've already decided. Motivation is emotional, fleeting. Seriousness gives you direction, structure. I remember my own moment. Nothing looked different outside, but inside was a reset. Excuses that once seemed reasonable sounded ridiculous. Comfort zones I protected were torn down, not from a secret formula, but from saying, I've had enough. You see it in others too, one day distracted, the next moving with purpose. Same life, same challenges, but a different person behind the wheel. Seriousness gives you your power back. Once you taste it, the power of decision, you don't want to go back. You don't need perfection or all the answers. You just need to decide. Your mind starts working for you, your time becomes focused, your priorities tighten. You protect your attention, get selective with choices. People notice not because you announce it, but because you live it. You're sharper, more intentional, less interested in applause, more focused on results. Suddenly, goals don't feel so far away because you're moving toward them daily. It's not just discipline, it's identity. You stop being someone who tries and become someone who follows through, who finishes, who lives in proof, not potential. Failure becomes something to learn from, not fear. Setbacks refine you. Discomfort sharpens you. That's what seriousness does. It changes your relationship with effort, time, progress. You respect the work, not avoid it. That day might look ordinary to the world, but to you, it's everything. The drift ends, the lies you told yourself stop, and you move differently. Seriousness also raises your standards. Behaviors you once tolerated, skipping workouts, wasting money, making excuses, become unacceptable. Not because of a lecture, but because your internal line moved. Most people don't lack desire. They lack standards. They want better but accept less, tolerate distractions, justify old behaviors. Every time you justify a low standard, you reinforce it, building an identity around it. Your life won't rise higher than the standard you set. When someone raises their standards, you feel it. They don't talk about change, they embody it. They expect more from themselves and results follow, not overnight, but over time. Raised standards don't just measure effort, they measure consistency, execution, follow-through. What you tolerate, you reinforce. Tolerate sloppiness, procrastination, excuses, and you build a mindset around them. But raise the bar, even slightly, and you create a new normal. You stop saying, that's just how I am, and start saying, that's who I was. You expect growth, maturity, follow-through. When you fall short, you notice and fix it. Your standards define your identity. You act out of principle, not feeling. You go to the gym because you're disciplined. Read because it's what someone at your level does. Save because you're building something. That's who you are now. Raised standards bring new problems, better ones. You move from chaos to complexity, from messes to decisions. You don't eliminate struggle. You upgrade it. You're not stuck, you're building something better, and that's worth the effort. You get serious to live better, to stop wasting time on what doesn't matter, to spend more life on what's meaningful. When you raise your standards, life responds. Opportunities find those who are ready, and readiness comes from expecting more from yourself. Getting serious is the turning point, but staying serious requires structure. Emotion starts it. Systems sustain it. Without structure, you drift back to old patterns. Life is busy, noisy, and will pull you to average if you don't protect your standards. Structure means not leaving things to chance, not relying on memory or hoping the day goes well. You set it up, prepare, build routines that support the new, the serious, disciplined one. You wake up at a set time because your priorities are clear. You block off time for what matters, thinking, working, resting, and defend it. You don't let trivial things invade the essential or let others' urgency become your emergency. Most people fail not because they're lazy, but because they're unstructured. Good intentions drown in a messy schedule or distracting environment. Discipline needs order, rhythm. Design your day deliberately. Decide when it starts, what gets your energy, what gets ignored. Once set, live by those rules. Structure makes decisions easier by removing emotion. You don't waste energy debating whether to act. You follow the plan. Your environment matters too. Clear clutter for focus, remove distractions for discipline, avoid people who dull your edge. Be ruthless about what stays in your space.